Hello everyone, this is the Audio Man and welcome to my channel. And welcome to your very first lesson of how to play the trumpet. And the most important part of the trumpet is the mouthpiece. Now, when you buy a trumpet, you obviously have a mouthpiece included in it. And most of the sizes for the trumpet, the standard size is the 7C. So, when you start to play trumpet, it takes a while to get very good at it. And you can't be discouraged, while you try to play and you're like, oh, I'm not so good, I'm not so good. It took me years to get to a decent level of playing. Several lesson teachers, and that's what I'm hoping to help you jumpstart into being a good trumpet player. The lessons I can teach you will help you be better at doing that. And you can't get discouraged. You must practice. And my suggestion is, practice at least a half-hour a day, 3 times a week. Now that might seem like a lot of dedication, but how bad do you want to play the trumpet? You have to really work at something a lot to be proficient at it. And so what I'd like to teach you first is the correct mouthpiece placement. Okay? Now the trumpet mouthpiece this is one of the most important things about placement is of the mouthpiece. Okay? You have to have the mouthpiece on the upper 2/3 of your lip and 1/3 on your bottom lip. And you also want to make sure that you keep it centered, okay? Now, what would be good when you first start learning until you get used to where you're supposed to place it is to look into a mirror and just make sure you know where it's supposed to be at. And you can have your parents check it too, okay? I'm just going to kind of show you how I place mine and you'll get the idea, okay? Again, the upper 2/3 goes on the top part of the mouthpiece, 1/3 on the bottom part of the mouthpiece. So it should look something like this. Okay? Alright. Now, the first lesson, what I'm going to teach you with the mouthpiece, is how to buzz. Okay? And you say, well, how do you buzz? What's that mean? That's weird. Kind of... the way I like to think of it is, I like to put something, like a piece of paper or something in my mouth, and pretend like you're wanting to get rid of it. Or some people like to think of it as a blade of grass, but I put a piece of paper in there and I go, okay, I want to shoot this out of my mouth. And what I do, in other words, is you want to also do a tonguing action. You want to go, kind of like now I'm not saying you want to spit, but it's just you're letting air. And you don't want to puff your cheeks. Very important, do not puff your cheeks. So and you want to sit up in an upright position, and you want to breathe from what they call the diaphragm, okay? And so you place this in between your lips, and watch how I do this. See how I just blew that out of my mouth? But I used my tongue too. I didn't push it out with my tongue, but I blew it out. Again. Now, what you also want to do is you want to tighten these lips, okay? You want to go kind of, okay? You want to get it tight, and sometimes, you also want to vibrate them. And hear how that's making that kind of noise? So when you get your mouthpiece and you put it up to your mouth, but see, you can hear that note ahead of time by the way I'm making that sound. Again, show it to you one more time because this is important. Pretend you got a piece of paper on your mouth and you want to get it off, okay? Out of between your lips, okay? See how that works? I know that's kind of silly looking, but it does help. So, put the mouthpiece up again. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter if that's the same, you match the same pitch or whatever. You can do a lower pitch, a higher pitch. This is just the beginning, okay? You can do... Okay? Now, the other thing you want to make sure is when you're playing that you keep your jaw dropped, open. Kind of like this. If you look and you look in the mirror again, you go, ah, say ah, ah, and then you close your lips down with that openness though. Ah. Get it? Because that way it allows you don't restrict your air so you can get your notes out easier, okay? Now, it is going to take some practice to get used to that. What some people do, and how I was taught, is if you get an old toilet paper roll and you put that in your mouth, okay, and then just hold it in there, and then take it out, close your lips, and then try to do your buzzing. And that's what that's called, buzzing. The other thing is, for your first lesson that I want to give you to practice on, I want you to do what they call the siren, okay? And what that is just like if you'd hear a police siren. So you kind of want to do that with the mouthpiece. Go. Once again, I'll do it again. And what that's going to teach you is how to get control, okay? Again, make sure you keep a mirror with you, just like even a little pocket mirror, and put it on your stand while you're practicing, and just constantly keep looking over. Say, okay, is it in the center of my mouth? Am I 2/3 on the upper lip? Am I 1/3 on the lower lip? Do I have my jaw dropped? Am I breathing from my diaphragm down here? You don't want your chest to be raising, going. You want it to all come down from your diaphragm. Okay? And another way that you can practice that, you can take your mouthpiece and lay flat on the floor. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you lay flat on the floor and you will breathe correctly as you're practicing the mouthpiece. Now, once you get used to that motion and that feeling and how open it feels, you won't have to keep doing that, obviously. And as you advance, you'll be able to play notes. And I'm going to take you further and further. I will leave a link in the description of what lesson books you will need. So be sure to hit that once you're done watching this video. And those books will help you on your way. Thanks again, and tune in next time.